Hola, from Cascada Café in Popayan, Colombia. The coming economic collapse is being discussed more and more. Many believe that this economic collapse will trigger the next global currency reset. We can see from graphs and these pictures that every couple of hundred years there's a change in the world currency dating back to ancient Rome. The US dollar will soon lose its place as the global reserve currency. Gold and probably some cryptocurrency will be used as the new world standard. Allied countries came together in Mount Washington Hotel, Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, in July 1944 and drew up the Bretton Woods Agreement, which ditched the gold standard which existed up until that moment. They also created the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank. These two institutions were tasked with monitoring this new system. This new monetary system was a great benefit to the US. The dollar appeared in all central banks around the world. In 1971, President Nixon stopped the global backing of the US dollar completely, initially saying it was only a temporary measure. Well, this Nixon shock was temporary, or is temporary, up until today. Since then, the dollar and all other world currencies exist without any support from a hard asset such as gold. Because of this act, the world today has a lot more debt than assets. The system died back in 2008 financial crisis, but has been kept on life support for over 11 years. Since then, the concept of global currency reset strengthened. Global currency reset refers to a process where the US dollar will eventually lose its place as the global currency. Instead, some gold or some other instrument such as cryptocurrency will be used as the new standard. The Federal Reserve is not an American public institution. It is not American, nor does it have any reserves, and it does not store America's gold reserves. Since the creation of the Federal Reserve, a secretive entity established in 1913, the dollar has lost more than 96% of its value. The worth of the dollar has been eroded by inflation. The US debt is over 22 trillion and exponentially growing every day. Sooner or later, someone has to pay this debt. Many of us are hoping it will be up to our children and grandchildren. But I, for one, am convinced that we, the blessed generation, has to face the music, and soon, very, very soon. The 2008 financial crisis, which started with the mortgage debacle, was a flag signaling a move away from the dollar. The quantitative easing skyrocketed debt from 900 billion to 4.5 trillion between 2009 and 2015. Other countries started to diversify their foreign exchange reserve and decrease their dependence on the dollar. In the first quarter of 2019, global debt reached 246.5 trillion. This is a chart of debt to GDP of most populous countries. US is at 106.5, just behind Japan. This can go on forever. The whole world will be suffering. Nobody, absolutely nobody, will escape the fires that will spread over the whole world. The central bank said gold could serve as a trust anchor for a renewed international monetary system in the event of a global reset. Central banks have been holding gold for years because gold is the trust anchor for the financial system. If the whole system collapses, the gold stock provides a collateral to start over. So, we need to consider two questions. What is the reset that catalyzes the collapse of the financial system? And what are the consequences of this reset? For more details and answers to this topic, subscribe to Financial Argument on YouTube. This is where this information came from. Vladimir Lenin once said, "The best way to destroy the capitalist system is to debauch the currency." subjected to an unsustainable level of government debt, then increase the money supply such that the value of the currency drops sharply. Most people do not understand that they need to own physical gold and copy what the bankers are doing. It is a 100% certainty that the reset will happen, and gold will play a very important role in the transition to a new world currency. Please share this video with your friends and family. Further, I invite you to come to the Colombian coffee farm called Cascada Café Retiro in Popayan, Colombia. I'm offering the first 5-day workshop on the evolution of human consciousness February 3rd to 7th, 2020 in English, and March 2 to 6, 2020 in Spanish. Physical, emotional, and mental preparations are extremely important, but all of that is not enough. We must first understand who we are and why are we here on earth at this time. Infinite love.